The history of insane asylums. In the 1800s, asylums were an institution where the mentally ill were held. These facilities witnessed many ineffective and cruel treatments of those who were hospitalized within them. Patients were routinely subjected to brutal techniques such as ice baths and electroshock therapy. In America, people were admitted to an insane asylum for reasons such as asthma, fever, crime, grief, jealousy, laziness, novel reading, war, masturbation, and if you were simply a woman. I know these may sound ridiculous now, but people were actually sent to psychiatric facilities for these reasons and many others. By the 1900s, operations such as lobotomies were performed on patients. A lobotomy was a procedure in which a patient's eyes were forcefully held open and an ice pick would be inserted and hammered above the eye cavity into the skull, reaching the brain. These were performed on more than 50,000 patients in the United States alone. However, less than 350 lobotomies were performed per year in the 1970s. By then, medication dominated mental health treatment. The problem was that lobotomies didn't just stop bad behaviors, they damaged people's memories and personalities. Patients were sometimes physically and sexually abused, along with being treated less like a person and more like animals. In an interview with Miss McLeod, she said mental health treatment has definitely improved over the years. Not long ago, people were considered to be possessed or just needed to be locked away or heavily medicated. Today, there are more treatment options, one such being cognitive behavioral therapy. Thankfully, mental health is now considered to be more important than physical health. People are committed to facilities because they're either a harm to themselves or to others, and cannot receive the intensive therapy they need on an outpatient basis. Costs of everything are higher now, but many doctors are taking a more holistic approach to treating patients, with not only medication to help with chemical imbalances in the brain, but also behavior therapies and mindfulness training. Many asylums were left abandoned, with medical files and equipment left there to rot. They're also an attraction towards many teens and adults for ghost hunting and vandalism. But this can be very dangerous since, one, you're breaking the law, and you may come across a squatter, which is a person who is homeless and seeks shelter in these buildings. Also, the buildings are very old and decaying, so it's very dangerous, and there's been people that have been hospitalized because they went through the floorboards and etc. One local abandoned asylum is Norwich State Hospital, which originally, when it opened, only housed 95 patients. However, as more and more patients were admitted, overcrowding quickly forced more construction and expansion. The hospital was home to the criminally insane, schizophrenics, drug abusers, and those with tuberculosis. This subject is important to me because I feel that this is a topic that is not really discussed when it should be, because it shows the growth and care for mentally ill patients. And we should not forget what some patients endured, which was torture, abuse, and mistreatment. I first learned about this topic when I was really into ghosts and from watching ghost shows. I found it fascinating, and I began to do my own research using many websites and documentaries to come up with this lesson. There are also there's also an episode of Ghost Adventures where they went to Norwich State Hospital, and you can watch that on your own time. Anyways, hope you enjoyed and you've learned something from the history of asylums.